Very like, and
that's a good
everything
idea.
in there. So catch me there.
I should do that, honestly, though.
Yeah, meet me there anytime. We work at the same place. I don't know if you guys know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we both work for the University of Southern Maine.
Oh, okay. Is that how y'all met?
No, we met on Bumble.
Oh, Bumble BFF?
Yeah. The other
one. So are you guys off since school's kind of out? Are you guys still working or?
We're still working.
Okay.
A lot of people do get off in the summer, but we don't.
Yeah.
It's nice to be like a
of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Is everyone coming in slowly but surely?
Cindy, you're like one of those people from work. I'm just gonna wait a couple more minutes for everyone.
Yeah, we're just gonna wait a couple minutes. Because I was about to say something, but then I'm like, this isn't everyone. So that's why I'm like,
Talia joined, Meryl's here.
Let me know if my my sound quality, like my microphone's better.
It's
I think it sounds better than normal. Because sometimes it's like weird. It's like when you start to talk, it would like go out, like almost like, yeah, like get really
in and out. Yeah.
I'm using my podcast one right now, so
it definitely sounds better. Yeah.
Good. Sally, do you know anything about Henri, or if he's gonna make it? He said he was. He said excited, so.
Yeah.
I know Abby's obviously gonna make it. Mo, who knows? Wait, who was your other friend? What was your name? She was funny.
Sarah.
Sarah.
I don't know. Let me text her. I thought she was coming.
Yo, I want to dive in right into the end because we always end up getting like towards the end of time and then we don't talk about it. So I'm like, let's just go straight to the end.
Yikes. Well, let me pull up the video of who's right and who's wrong.
I have receipts. I actually wrote it down before we left last meeting. If you guys wanted to know. It was.
You don't have to tell me I was a no.
I know.
That's okay. I mean, like, I'm glad you know. Okay, so yeah, I have horrible handwriting, but it said together was me, Abby, Jamie, Charlie, and Irina. And then everyone else thought they're going to be single, which is Beverly, Meryl, Sarah, Henri, and Cindy.
Which I will say, even though you were wrong, Bev, I feel like you need to write a book because the turns and twists you were coming up with, like, honestly, like, would be, because didn't you say, like, they're going to find out that he slept with her mom?
Yes.
Because, I was really thinking the way that the book was going when she was calling her, and I was like, it's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna see that line, like, so like me and your guy. And I was like, I was waiting for it, but it didn't happen. I was like, okay.
I wouldn't put it past him. Maybe if he was still drinking, I'd say that would happen, but I don't know, sober shame.
Yeah.
Are we happy with how it ended?
Well, first of all, the epilogue. Goddamn. Why was it so long?
It was like 3 chapters.
Dude.
It was so long.
It was, yeah.
And it was just conversations.
Yeah. Like she said, he said, and like it's crazy because I was reading it without the audiobook and I got to the epilogue thinking it was gonna be like 3 pages. And I was like, that's weird.
Because it's like if you don't read the epilogue and you just stop like where like the last chapter stops, they don't end up together.
Yeah.
But if you read the epilogue, they do end up together.
So wait, is it
does that mean we're halfway right? I mean,
as soon as the book says finale, then that's the one.
See, that's my thing. And I was ranting to Jeremy about it earlier because I was like, okay, hate on me all you want. That's some lazy fucking writing. She put both endings.
Yes.
We gotta deal with what you want. We want them together, you want them not. It's like, I feel like this is like a, okay,
That's
if
true.
you want them not together, you got your ending. But if you want them together, here's a little epilogue to satisfy all y'all that
Exactly.
want them to stay together. I'm like, I hate that. Pick one, you know?
It's like alternate the
Mhm.
ending, basically. I don't know.
Yeah, it like made me mad. I'm like, this is how you're gonna end it that abruptly and then give me some like long ass epilogue to like justify maybe if I wanted to stay together, that there you go, there's them together. I don't know, like I don't know, it made me so mad. I was like, what
How
the heck is
Libra of
this?
her, very balanced. It just didn't pick his line.
Yeah,
You
because
know
at the end of the
zodiac
day,
sign?
like, huh?
You know her zodiac sign, Cindy?
No, I just feel like I was reading. Like, just
Where's Andre?
pick a side.
Oh, he's on his way. But I was gonna say, like, yeah, like the epilogue was more of like a chapter rather than like an epilogue, because like it had a lot to deal with, even with the story. It wasn't like a spin-off. It was just like, and continuing on. And I was like,
We didn't even-
was that
I would have been fine if they would have just ended at that and they wouldn't have continued on with telling us like, because then I'm like, is this really a part of the story? Or are you saying like in a different life, they would have ended together? And I'm like, well, I don't care about a different life. I'm talking about like in your book, like, did you let them be together or not? So it's like, I don't know.
Wait, so before we get to the epilogue and the ending, can we talk about where we last left off?
that is true.
Actually, I want to know, Arena, what was your thoughts about the ending? Because we kind of all.
No worries. Yeah, I was kind of thinking of it like I almost like I'm happy they end up together, but like I was like I love the way that the book like ended actually when it was like this dramatic moment. She, did her big speech and then he's like, took his award and it's all very dramatic and great. But it kind of like made me think like, is there a way that the epilogue is serving as that kind of, I don't know, as like evidence of Eva's whole thing where she's like, I don't want the love that's like to write about. I want a love that's like boring and like nothing to write about kind of thing. So I was like, maybe that's kind of what they were going for or what the author was going for.
I see.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like best, I just, because that's what she kind of said at the end. Like she just wants something stable and she really didn't get that. And I guess.
Don't we all?
Oh, but actually,
All right, well, we can start from the beginning. Who can like give us a recap of where we were, and then we could kind of like dissect that.
beginning is Adam and Eve. No, I'm joking.
What did you say?
Where had we left off?
Chapter 20, because I think I remember reading, right? Chapter
I
20.
remember the days. I don't remember.
Or was it Friday? I think it was Friday.
We left on Friday. I think you're right.
Like right when
I think we were finally, sorry, you can go.
I was just asking, were we right? Like we ended right on that chapter where it was like, ask your mom, like call her and ask her what happened because like he told her basically what really happened.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I remember that's what I started reading when I started
Okay.
the end of it.
Okay, yeah. So then how do we feel about, I guess, Charlie, did you ever write anything down about the mom? Like I was curious to see like your point of view and like how you felt about Ava's mom just being her.
So I think, oh my gosh, I did have thoughts. I should have written them down. I'm gonna write it next time because I did have thoughts going through this. I think I remember feeling like really annoyed with her. Feeling like I just feel so bad for Eva, like that she still has to like deal with this. And like, what did she say? Like, oh my God, she said something like, I don't know, like everything always like came back, like no matter what Eva would say, like her mom always like turned it around to her. Like she even was saying like, you never noticed I cut myself, you had to have known. And she was like, what? You were so secretive. How would I know that? Like, again, like it's your fault. You were secretive. And then she said, well, I know when Audrey gets a paper cut. And then Lizette's like, well, you need to get a life then. And it's like, okay, no matter what she says, and that like, I felt so bad for Eva. And I'm sure there were other things too. Cause it really annoyed me. And I felt like it kind of, I think I might have said it last time. It seems like, I think Eva called her a sociopath earlier on. I think she called her that. And I kind of got that vibe from her. Like, I don't really feel that bad because she seems very like or maybe she's a narcissist. I don't know. Like, she just seems very self-absorbed. like she can't care, like she can't really care about her daughter. Like there may be like remnants of it there, but she can't fully like care about her daughter and like truly love her.
Yeah. I just feel like she always made it look like she had no room for Eva's like love or something, or no room for like her in her life, when it's like this, she took care of you like literally her whole life.
Yeah.
One thing.
Sure, it was really hard for her as well to because she had to call her more than what she usually does, like 3 or 4 times around the year. So basically calling her saying like, I need you to like verify this information, and like the mom basically getting like an ego boost to like, oh wow, this is more than I've ever heard from you. And it's like, I don't care. Like at the end of the day, like I would search around, I would not, what is it? The term I've been seeing on TikTok is I wouldn't let a waterboard. It's like I wouldn't be waterboarded and still go back and like someone forced me to like talk to her. Like, no, she's dead to me.
True. Facts. She sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think even in that instance, she was like, "Oh, you need me so much more than like you've ever
Yeah.
needed me." And she's like, "Well, I've always needed you. You just
Oh,
you're
Oh
not."
my God,
I
right
think that
there.
was, like, the thing. Yeah.
I have chills like that. Yes.
That was like one of my favorite lines.
Heart, like just
Because she really hit the core with that one. I was like, ooh, damn. And yet she still had a way to clap back and be like, well, you're still, you're secretly cutting yourself. So how would I supposed to know? Type shit. I was like, oh, why are you so diabolical? Like, can't you just see the pain that you've caused? And yet, like, she literally tells her that. And then, like, she's still not able to, I guess, connect it or something like that. So it's crazy.
She definitely knows what she's doing, though. I feel like she plays dumb, but I think she knows exactly what was going on. That's my thought of her.
I agree.
Yeah. That was like with chapter 20, right? It goes right into it, and then
So
honestly,
she finds out the truth about why
she
why
finds,
he left.
and man, I just kind of feel like it. Is it just me? This is like everyone can just put their opinion, but like once you kind of found out what the truth was, did the chapters kind of get predictable, or is it just me?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was boring. It was getting boring. I was like, okay. Okay.
I was like, okay, well, I kind of have an idea where this is gonna go, because if he's not gonna fuck Lizette, then there's no plot twist. Like we're pretty much done.
Yes, Cindy, and especially at the part whenever they were just like, oh, at Cece's party, and Audrey and Shane are together. It was just they were just trying to just portray that. I was like, okay, you're obviously forcing that they're gonna end up together, so they're gonna end up together.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, I think even wait, did they meet before a Cece's party, or am I remembering something different? I'm still like recapping.
yeah, they met after that. She went to his house or his like Airbnb.
Oh yeah. That's sex scene number 2, I guess, right?
Okay. Because I was thinking it was like, okay. That's fine. But it did get predictable, I would say. I kind of called it from the beginning too, when the way that she was talking about her trauma, and it was in a way that was like unfinished business, where it's like, I want more from like what I have, even if I have Audrey, and like I'm willing to give that, but like give me time. But for some odd reason in this book, like time is like none of the essence. Like it's just a whole week. So I'm like, okay, I see what it is.
And it's crazy. It's literally just 7 days, and I feel like it's been like a month they've been hanging out. It's crazy.
Right? I was like, geez.
Okay, how do you guys? This is the question. You guys obviously read books that have a little bit of sauce in them. How do you rate her writing when it comes to like intimacy scenes? Because I feel like I've read really good books that like, I don't know, they don't get too graphic, but there's just more to it. It's almost like it was rushed. I don't know. That's just me. Like I read some really good. I was actually reading a book the other day.
Clearly has something to say in that case.
No, I'm just like, it was a bit rushed. I didn't like not like it, but I was just like, with what the anticipation was building up, like I feel like you could have just added a little bit more, little seasoning to that, I don't know.
No, I can mention something about this, because not only we came into this book hoping to get some sauce, right? We read the first line, the first page. She about died doing what? I'm sure we all remember how she almost died.
Right,
So I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be spicy.
Right.
All for 2 scenes that were
yeah.
a page each.
Short,
I
yeah.
was like, okay, rush. So
I was
mad.
expecting like a whole chapter or more. Like,
Me too.
yeah.
I got chapter 21, and then I got, what was the one in the
Earlier,
public place, the little
Yeah.
where they took a nap.
the dream
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Especially because they built him up to be kind of like this sex god because he like
Yeah.
parties with like curvy ladies. And it's like, so it's like, okay, where is the
I'm like, where's the smut? Like, where's the spice?
Right. No, I definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely.
I agree. I think she kept it very more romantic than like erotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Rain
Yeah.
out there. Okay, well, I'm glad I wasn't the only one thinking that. But yeah, she did go to his house, and then after the house, they do their own thing or whatever. I feel like, well, what is there to the story if this is like fine? But then I don't know. What else do you guys have to say about like after she finds out about the truth and why he left, and they make up? Like, any thoughts? Anyone write anything down?
Why didn't he couldn't have texted her? Like,
Yes, girl.
I mean, I get, like, I know this is like a stressful situation. There's the child is in the hospital dying. This is stressful, but I just feel like a text,
Yeah.
I'll fill you in later, but an emergency came up. I'll see you tonight. I just want you to know I can't make it, or something. Like, I mean, literally it could be like 2 sentences.
Literally.
Mhm.
Are we talking about the
Airport
dinner,
security.
Yeah, the brunch. Yeah.
the brunch? I don't know. I feel like when you're in that moment of like stuff happens, I don't know, like I get it. Like I feel bad for her, but I think she could have cut him some slack with that.
I think she did
With
though.
the honor.
She did.
She did because Audrey said to.
Yeah, because Audrey said to, but I feel like at the beginning, even when like she first saw him, it was just like, oh, like you fucking, like pretty much you goddamn cunt.
Mhm.
But it's like, girl, like people go through stuff. Like you're not the only one. Just because you have like fucking migraines all the damn, like people go through things.
Speaking of
But I
migraine,
think,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that
I
last
agree with what
migraine
you're
was giving
saying.
me a migraine listening to it. I was like reading and I was like, ah.
whether PTSD or PTSD with him is that going away. And she didn't
Yeah.
know.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And I get that though, but that's why I was just like, girl, this is so toxic. Because at the end of the day, like he just came back in the picture. You should be strong enough. You have your daughter. Be happy in the moment with your daughter. Why are you over here jumping like, oh, is he coming? Because it's like you wouldn't have cared 2 years ago. So why does it matter now? And that's why I'm just like, it's toxic because
Exactly.
it's like you're just completely, you can just now forget that like this used to be just a moment with you and your daughter. You guys would go to brunch. This is her special thing. And she goes to Datafornia or I don't even know what
Yeah,
how she said that.
That
So
point.
yeah, so I was like, I agree with you, Honor. I was like, she's doing too much right there. And then
She was. It was the anxiety of like reading it gave me a lot of anxiety. I was like, she needs to like pipe it down. Like take a Xanax, take a nap. Because
Damn.
the way that she was just kind of going about it, I was like, oh, like I get it. Like imagine if like you met someone after like 2 years, whatever, and they just like I don't understand why she was so pressed.
I think she also was embarrassed. Like we can cut some slack. Like, you know.
I get it. She was protective over Audrey's feelings.
right.
But I also feel
more
like
her
it was
feelings.
more so she's putting on this facade. Bitch, you better let me the fuck over. Sorry. She's putting on the facade of like, you hurt Audrey, but it's like, girl, he hurt you.
Yes, that's what I
Yeah.
agree, Andre. Yes. Because even Audrey said, Mom, I know you're lying. He didn't, he did not show up for this. Cut him some slack. And I was like, your daughter's smart enough, girl. Why do you keep playing these games?
Also as well, if you think about this, at that point, she already told Cece, she already told all her other friends, they had known. So I think
Right.
him not showing up was just more like embarrassing. It's like, I've already told all these people, now I have to show face. now him like not showing up for me basically.
I feel
Well,
like
and-
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go Charlie, you go.
I was just gonna say, I feel like both of them could have been more responsible with how they reacted. One, he could have texted her, and even if he didn't, she could have. Because in that situation, like if Nate didn't show up and then I saw him, I'd be like, oh my God, are you okay? Like my first thought is like something happened to you, because especially given the history of last time he disappeared, it was because he was like taken to jail. Like part of me would have thought she would have been like worried that something else bad happened. So I feel like they both could have like responded differently, but I do feel like part of the response was like a physical of Eva, like a physical response of remembering what it felt like when he left the first time. Even though he didn't leave, he was taken, but like her body doesn't know that. Her body just knows the trauma of feeling,
Right. Ben,
And I mean, she did like at the brunch was saying like, oh, like what if he got into an accident, this, that, and the other. I just feel like when it comes to them, it's two walls trying to get with each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're emotionally unavailable. And that's, to me, is why like it's like if y'all were just more vulnerable with each other and the people around you, then that conversation could have been had more easily and they would have worked out.
Yeah. To kind of piggyback off of what you said, Charlie, what I was going to say was like, I didn't understand how, like, I understood why, but like thinking about it, like in our sense, I was kind of struggling on like why she would jump straight to a conclusion as to this is all too much for him. He's ditching me, yada, yada, yada. Because I not only did I take into apart the fact that he actually never really left her. He got sent to jail that one time. But you also remember, like, he picked up a job teaching English for at least a year within like seconds when she asked him to do so to watch her daughter. I don't think he'd be running off to avoid a brunch and just throw all of that away when he just accepted a job position like in your daughter's school.
Again. Right.
He's not trying to avoid your daughter. Had that been the case, he wouldn't have said yes to that.
Exactly.
I was like saying with the lazy writing, I feel like that's what you were like when you said lazy writing, I feel like that's what that is.
Yeah. Because I'm like, why would he ditch a brunch, but he would take a whole job?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah. So that's why I was like, you're taking it way too far. Like it's
her internal dialogue did not match.
I'm always going through it. Okay. Like cut him some slack. He walked into the place with the same outfit he's had on for like 36 hours, sweat. He's like, he clearly doesn't look okay, right? And she's like,
child, like,
how dare you? I'm like,
well, and he just, like Charlie said, he realized that he hadn't texted. He's like, oh my God, Eva, and then he just still no text or call. It's like you realize too in that moment. So it's just it doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Like
I should have sent a text for sure.
Like a Snapchat, anything. Like I mean, like him and Ty. Like I don't know. Like,
not him and Ty.
That would have been
holy shit.
That would have been like a hold on.
Oh my God. I'd be like, no. Do you guys think Ty needed to die in this story?
No.
Absolutely not. Why did Ty need to die? Didn't we start off saying like, why did we have black trauma? And we literally have black trauma. Like, lady, you cannot say this in the beginning. And then we're literally like, he didn't even
two people. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say if Ty didn't die, the ending would have still been the same. He would have gone to that brunch.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like, that's why I knew. I was like, okay, take Ty out of this equation. What's gonna happen? They're still gonna end up together. Okay, and that's it. So I was like, oh, but I mean, like, I guess she needed, I think lazy writing, like you were saying, Jamie, like she needed that little extra spunk because I feel like the writer knew like, okay, this book is kind of predictable. Let me add some like twist to it. But like, it wasn't very twisty enough.
You guys ever seen that?
Yeah,
seen that picture of like the horse that starts off really nicely and then at the end of the picture it's like a doodle basically. Like, that's not how I feel. It's like this great start and then the end was like
which maybe we can theorize here. I'm reaching for this one. I better stretch. She is Eva in the book is rushing the book throughout the entirety of the thing, never finished it, remember, and then she like ended up just quitting it. Is that what she's doing here with this
Oh,
book?
you're saying like
Like the
Oh,
author's her, maybe? I don't know.
like it's a for
Well,
show.
I wouldn't necessarily say that the writing is lazy. I feel like it summed up well. You have to remember, like, this is 7 days. This
Yeah.
is 24 times 7 hours. Like, so I wouldn't necessarily say that it was rushed. I just think, I don't know.
I don't think that it's rushed. I think that she gave, by giving 2 different endings, right? Because if you end the book at the end of the chapters, you get they aren't together. If you choose to read the epilogue, which in most books is an optional part, right? If you want to get a summary or like of how life is post the story, you get that. It's a different ending. So it kind of felt like she was giving, like she like, okay, now nobody can be mad at the end of this book, because if you wanted them to stay apart, you got that. If you wanted them to be together, you got that.
literally.
And then I gotta justify Shane leaving, so let me kill this 13-year-old boy, as if each of them haven't had enough trauma in their entire freaking life for 20 people. Like literally, I'm like, bro, these poor people, like fucking one person go through.
I agree. I think it was very anti. Yeah. I think it was
Shane
very
just like his foster mom dying, and then him going to jail, and then him breaking his arm 27 times, and then like, you know what I'm saying?
But then like also Shane's healing towards the end of the book, like an epilogue, is just rushed. Like I almost wish it
Rushed,
was in
right?
like July. I'm like, why does it have to be the next month? Like I get you have
Right.
the whole like trip and it's like all romantic and
Yeah.
whatever, but it doesn't have to be then. Like a book takes a long time to write. She could be in Atlanta a year from now or wherever. Because like he's all like, I'm a basketball coach now, and I realized that my connection to my mentees is like too, you know, too
close.
intense or whatever. Yeah. And so it's like, it was a bit like, I think that part for me was like a little rush, because I was like, you don't just like go through that trauma and you're like, I'm okay now. Like, I don't know, it was weird. Yeah.
That's a good point, because Ty was calling him when he got like shot. He was shot, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was shot multiple times.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
And like that's traumatic to have like a kid calling you and you don't answer.
Mhm.
Like, so that's a whole nother like level of healing that he needed to go through after that. And yeah, you're right. It was rushed. It's, you don't just get over that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And he
Well-
like, Ty felt like that
Well,
was his kid.
I don't know, because I've had a similar situation. I had a cheer coach. She kind of got like fired from being our cheer coach, but it's because of just some stuff that had happened. But she was super close with us girls. And after she left, she did tell me, she's like, I just had to stop cheering because it took a lot out of me. And she's like, I can teach, but I just don't want to be a coach because you're getting invested into so much. And it was literally within a year. And I was like, really? Are you sure? And it was her life. So I get it. Everyone's different. Some people can really just be like, I'm done. It was too traumatic. And some people, it takes more time. So.
but also like with the characters, I feel like to say that they're just like, oh, I'm over and I'm done. I mean, we've read 300 pages where they don't know how to say that they're done.
Right.
So I feel like even though they ended up together, that doesn't mean that they were emotionally ready to move on to the trauma that they have experienced. They were just moving on to that next chapter.
Right.
I have a question for everyone. Do you guys think their relationship would last after, like, now that we know if they're together, do you think it would last? And do you think there would be any obstacles? Like, do you think it'd just be easy and he's just gonna swoop in and be the stepfather and it's just gonna be happy and dandy?
I think the honeymoon phase, they're gonna be like that until it gets real again. And then
And I feel like as long as Audrey's there, it's gonna be okay because she's like an amazing
oh,
fighter.
you know.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
The scene with like her and him like talking, and then even like with her mom, like I'm like, oh my gosh, they need to do a spin-off, and it's like Audrey, like something about her life, like Audrey goes to college or something. Like
I would love to read Audrey's book. I would read it. It's so funny.
He's so like educational yet like quirky and like very like it's just like kind of like the funny wit that she had, especially when it comes to like the relationship. Because she also incorporated a lot in the book, kind of forming that relationship too. Like she's literally the one putting them together because they didn't have they weren't wearing their big boy panties and was like, I like you, please be together, type stuff. So I was just like, good job, Audrey, like doing
Right.
it.
And her little crush too. I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about that? Because she
That
said it was her third cousin or something. Is that not weird?
No, I did think that was weird.
Yeah.
I agree. I was like,
Huh?
Really, her third
Well,
cousin.
I think it was
kind
like
of-
the
It
godson,
was-
like something like where it's not blood related.
Because it's
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
like nephew or cousin. or something.
Mm.
So they're not really, but like they
It's
just
just kind of failed.
to kind of, but to mention, like, kind of going back to Bev's point with whether we think they could stay together, I feel like it's going back to what you said, Irina, about them kind of rushing Shane's healing. I think Eva showed a lot of healing towards the end that actually would make like a pivotal change. We saw how when she straight up told everybody, I'm having this like blood curdling migraine, and I'm just gonna outright say it. It told everybody. That was big. And then on top of that, also her rekindling her relationship with her family and getting to know her background and getting to know the truths between all the, her ancestors, her mom, grandma, and all that. Like, those were all things that were hindering her throughout the entirety of her life that I feel like would have affected her relationship with Shane that she's now addressing. And the things that Shane does, in the same way of everything that's been hindering him, have been outside factors, have been other people's faults, wasn't necessarily addressed in the same way. Right. Like, that would be why they might not make it. Not to say like, oh, it'd be Shane's fault per se, but I'm saying like she never really elaborated on, okay, what was it from Shane's side that hindered their relationship, and what is he doing to fix that? Because I feel like the healing things that they're mentioning were really things that I felt like were needed to be addressed for him. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm just running around circles.
It does.
But I hope you all understand what I'm trying to say.
No, I definitely understand what you're trying to say. But because are we talking about the relationship they had when they were kids?
No, I'm talking about like we're talking about, do we think that they would last now that we know that they're together?
Right, but I'm saying, are you saying like the relationship that they had when they were kids? Because I mean, he was a raging alcoholic. Like, that's really the only problem. He was just emotionally unavailable and a raging alcoholic. And I feel like he's not an alcoholic now, but emotionally unavailable.
But also,
just a tad.
Isn't it like they were together for a week when they were kids, and then they were together for a week now as adults? If I'm right on that, right?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that's my thing too. Is I'm like, that week what was taken away from him going to jail for her mom or whatever. I feel like, yeah, they threw him in AA and he's been sober, but he's been sober for the entirety of this week that they've had the relationship. So that wasn't something that he was necessarily needing to address. We got like snippets of him being like, I could get a drink, but I'll just ran 8 miles instead. But I didn't see like him and Eva getting in a fight because he wanted to grab a cocktail and she told him no. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because
Like, that was already
happen
fixed when they met.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's why I'm like, I don't know what he needs to do, or what she needed to show me that he needs to do to prove that they're good now.
Yeah.
I almost feel like there's like a parallel between Shane and like Troy, and the phone call that Eva had with Troy, and Troy was like, I just wasn't like ready for you at the time, like I wasn't mature enough. And I think and he says something that to us would make it sound like he is mature. Oh, right, like at this point, like if she and Troy had been together now, perhaps he would have been a good partner for her. And it's almost like Troy and Eva broke up because Troy wasn't emotionally available. And then we have the same thing kind of happen in the last chapter where Shane wasn't emotionally available and he's like, I'm not ready for you or whatever. And then like he is in the epilogue. So it's almost like, oh, he is, so it'll be fine.
So we'll take it for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And to kind of piggyback off of, oh, sorry.
No, I was just agreeing with that because I was like, wow, that
I was like, that makes sense. I didn't even think about the Troy aspect, but yeah. Just go ahead, Audrey.
No, I was just gonna piggyback off of that because when Audrey was talking to Shane and was just like, you know, she's got headaches, she's got this, like you need to be there for her, like you need to be patient with her. And everything was kind of like after, because that was before the call with Choi. And it was kind of like Audrey was telling her, like, these are the things that my dad didn't do. These are the reasons that they didn't work out.
Mhm.
So as long as you are able to accept these things, then you're good. And he pretty much was like, I know. Like, I'm gonna do those things.
I mean, is Audrey an empath, or did Eva tell her this? Because like she knows just a lot about a lot.
Right.
I'm like,
I know.
I mean, it doesn't take that much to know that your mom's got having a damn migraine.
I mean, no.
Let's be
but,
honest,
like,
Ava is not well at hiding things.
no. Well, I'm just saying, like, you know, being able to read that's what she needs out of a man at 12 years old. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that at 12 years old. I can't lie. You know, I wasn't, you know, be like, what is Eric
But
doing?
she also wants to be a therapist or like a
Yeah,
psychologist.
I think they kind of led up to her having this conversation with Shane by like, you know, all the therapy sessions that she's had with her friends and, you know, the conversation that they had in the kitchen with her and him and, you know, the little girl. So it's just like, there's so many like instances where they're like, okay, this is why she's qualified to be telling Shane what she needs because of this.
I almost think that they won't, and like if they were not to end up together in the future, it would be because of Eva. Because if you really think about the like who Shane is as a person, like him leaving was really not because of him; it was because of someone else. He got better. So I think that like if they were to break up, it would still be on Eva because she still wouldn't fully trust that someone's there just for you because she's hyper independent. That's my thought. I'd say last year until she starts spiraling, thinking like he's not gonna stay. But
110% agree.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
but
Wait, do you mind elaborating on that really quick?
what are you talking about?
Wait, not elaborating. Sorry, repeat what you just said.
No, I just is like saying like if they were not to work out, if we don't know any. So Shane, like, what is his faults? He was an alcoholic. He fixed that. He left Eva. He was not dependent. He really was. He called it her mom, got someone there, was even holding her to the end, right? So like loyal, and then but forcefully he had to leave. So all of those things were outside of his control. He's fixed all of those things, right? Everyone has their vices and their little issues with and whatever. But I think that like with Eva, it's the whole trust aspect. Like if they were not to end up together, I think it would be Eva's doing and not Shane in the situation, just because I don't know, we've just seen like in situations where they're better, Eva was still doubting his loyalty when he's shown what Jamie said. Literally, I've signed up for a year of English class and all this stuff, and you still don't think I would be there. So that's just kind of like just talking out loud of like what would happen in a year from now. Would they stay together? I think that it would be Eva that would ruin it just because of what we know.
Well, hey, question. Didn't we just say that I guess in high school it wasn't just 7 days or whenever they were together, right? It wasn't just like the 7 days in high school and then he went to jail and then they never saw each other after 7 years.
And I think it's
Yeah.
7 days, right?
think-
No, 7, it's a week,
No,
yeah.
I think so.
Well, then if that's the case, all I'm saying is you don't know someone in a week. So for me, I'm like, she also doesn't know him. So if he wasn't answering, she really doesn't know who this person is. You change from 16 years old to now an adult. So he could have very well may have gone to drink. You don't know that, but I understand why she would have spiraled, because it's also like, I don't really know him. I knew who he was, but that's a whole different person. You know, yes, you are always, you know, your 16 self, but like I'm completely different than I was when I was in high school. So yeah, like I understand.
He made it impact enough for Troy to even be like, someone took your smile. Like, you know, I already kind of feel like someone was already in your life when we were together. Like you're always like 1 foot out. He said something like that. And I was like, made an impact enough for her man's, that was her ex now, to say that like, I feel like someone was already there before me. And, you know, no one can replace him. So I don't know. I was thinking out loud. I think the ending was, it was all right.
I also just think it's interesting that they both wrote a whole series based off of each other, and they had only known each other for 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honey.
I'm like
I was
damn near
actually gonna
15
ask
books.
I was gonna ask the group this because at the end of the day, I think what they're saying is that it's not based off of the time, but like what's happening. So like, you know how people say like you don't really know someone until you've seen them through all the seasons. Goddamn, they were through all the seasons throughout first 7 days. Like
That's true.
all of them. So they got to really see the person when they're the happiest. They got to see them when they're like the worst. Like they got to see them in every state. So I don't necessarily say that they didn't know each other, but they weren't able to see each other when they were actually good, like when they started kind of being good.
Yeah.
I agree with that because we have like the reality dating TV shows, and these people get married after that. And it's like, how do you get married and you've only known this person for this short period of time? But it's like when you're spending, 24 hours a day with each other, you get to know them, like stuff happens. So
Can we like
Makes
just
sense.
like just for a second pretend that they don't have any issues and end up happily together forever? And I just want to read this quote because I really like it. At the very end, she says, I think we were wrong to end this. Shane cupped her face in his hands. It never ends, does it? Loving you never ends. Whether you're Genevieve or Eva, whether I lose you for years or wake up to your face every morning, I love you. You're my home and I want you forever. And then I love how she's like, forever. And he nodded and she said, oh, fine, you can have me. And I thought that was so cute.
That was really cute.
Yeah, it was really cute.
I put a note for that, and I put, why, baby, in my CeeLo Green voice, because I literally was just like, I want that.
Yeah.
I'm good. That's really cute. I mean, she did end it pretty well, I guess, on that. They're cute, whatever. They're cute, but I don't know. Guys, we have 50 minutes left. Do we want to have the kind of like, does everyone have anything else to say? Because I feel like we discussed pretty much the entire book, unless there's something that we're missing.
I just want to hear everyone's like, what do you think you rate this book? Because I think we've always rated at the end, and I'm surprised this is my book choice, but I'm rating it very low.
Yeah, bad.
I
Not
don't
a
know
great
why.
You want to go around and rate? Jamie, you want to start?
Yeah.
Me start?
You want me to start?
Or whoever wants to start,
Jamie, you start.
Oh God. I'm gonna start off low, so I'm sorry. But okay. It's just because she put these characters through way too damn much for that ending. Like way too much. So I give it a 5.
Simon,
I told you I started off low. I'm sorry.
Is this the lowest rating so far of any book?
Until Beverly. I don't know what her rating is.
Mine is?
Jamie, pick the next person to rate.
Irina. What's the scale? Is it out of 10?
1 to 10. Mm-hmm.
1 to 10.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it like a 6.5 because I think the emotional like development, I really liked the connection there. So I think that was good for me.
Yeah. That's a fair one.
Oh, picking the next person.
Yeah.
Let's pick Bev.
I will do a 5.52 just because I was so excited. It really, and I think as soon as we got to the end, I was like so anticlimactic, and I was like, I just want to get through this. So very not what I expected. I was expecting way more sex, way more erotic, way more juice.
Fair.
Facts.
Fair.
And I will do Charlie.
Okay, I'm reading this based on like, all the other books we've read. And I think this one, I really, really liked the beginning and middle of this book. Like I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be one of my new favorite books. I didn't like the ending, and it really did get like, almost felt like, okay, I have to finish this, not that I want to finish this. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Because I did really like the beginning and the middle a lot, and I liked the idea that they were writing to each other for like, years and years. So
I love how for Charlie a 7 is low.
Yeah.
I always love to hear her rating. That's why.
She's so nice.
I-
You always rate him so high. I'm like,
But, like,
I'm gonna rate
The
it so
other
low.
ones were like, I think like Evelyn was like a 10,
That's a
Burning
10.
Girls was like a 9 or a 10. So it's like, compared to those.
No judgment. I just love how
Oh my
nice
God.
you are. No, I appreciate it. You even
but-
me out because I'm the asshole of like 5. So you bring it back to normal.
No, for me.
Wait, did we ever rate the fire?
Yeah, we did.
Mhm.
Burning Girl.
Did we get like an 8.5 or
We don't
something?
even remember the name, Sally, so we know your rating.
Yeah, we
Right.
No,
I think my
read
rating was like a 3.
Did you read the book, Andre?
Andre, did you even finish
Did
it?
you read the book?
No, I finished the book. I just I could not with that book. Like,
Popcorn, I guess Charlie.
Cindy.
I'm gonna go with Charlie too because I like the beginning a lot, and then the middle was really strong. But also, I think like I haven't read a lot of like African American books. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I read a lot of literature where it's just usually people that are not African American, and so I don't want to judge it too harshly because I actually laughed like reading this book. I was like, oh my god, this is hilarious.
Mhm.
And so I feel like I'll give her grace. I'll say 7 because she started off really strong. I keep picturing that horse just drawn really nicely and just ended up just kind of And so, but it's still a 7 for me. Yeah, I think I liked it. Meryl.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Only because, like you said, I loved like reading about African American people and the struggles that not necessarily the struggles that they go through, but just more of like the everyday struggles that human beings go through, but like just put an African American there. And it was really funny, like Cindy had said. So I want to give it a 7.5. The ending was garbanzo beans, so that didn't help because I was really looking forward to like seeing like what the end was going to be. But by the middle, you're like, eh. It wasn't like the Burning Girls where it's like, well, it really could be anything. So yeah, I guess like that's a point of like with like romantic comedies or romantic books. It's like it's either one or the other. They either end up together or they don't. So yeah, 7.5. And then who has it gone? Solia?
Yeah, I have it. Honestly, I would rate this. I think Irina, yours 6.5 is kind of where I was at. Because don't get me wrong, I like the book and I do enjoy the I guess the language that it had. It was easy to read. Of course, there's more. Sorry, guys. And then on top of that, like it was also just like honestly for an African American book, yes, it was honestly I would say lower than I would rate, but I guess I don't know. That's just how I feel. 6.5. And then
That's valid.
yeah, but honoring whenever you're ready.
I would rate the book a 7. I didn't really have super high expectations for the book when we first started reading it. So like throughout the book, it was kind of like, okay, I need to read. So like the ending, I mean, like it didn't captivate my attention throughout the entire book, but I feel like it was relatable. The actual literature of the book was nice. I guess Tia Williams portrayed everything and hit it up dead on the head with the references and stuff. Was really good to me.
Mhm.
I mean, I definitely would have enjoyed a lot more sex scenes, but I feel like it's 7 days. Like, did we want them to have sex every day?
Yes, I did.
So like, I don't know. I feel like with what she had within these 7 days, or I guess 14 days altogether, she put it together, in my opinion, really well because, each day is 24 hours. And to me, she really showed how they were just jumping around and going through life. So.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, that means the average is 6.5 for this book.
From your
No, I have to get the average.
5.
6.5.
Well, okay, so the winners, right? The winners.
So who would we say are the winners?
It was who said?
You guys get to choose the next
It was-
genre, and then we get to
Right,
pick.
but what would we say the winner is? Because theoretically, they didn't end up together at the end of the book.
That's what I'm saying. Theoretically,
Okay,
everyone
so
was
yeah.
right.
But what's the end of the book really? Isn't the epilogue also a part of the book?
No.
No, you don't have to read the epilogue.
Exactly. You don't have to really read it. So if someone didn't read it, they
You
wouldn't
guys
know.
are terrific.
Right. Is it
The
that?
epilogue is like a bonus episode. Like,
Well, if someone were to tell you in that universe, does Eva and Shane get together? In that universe, they get together, guys. Like,
Look, I don't
but in
care.
this
It's
one,
fine.
they didn't.
right. So,
Dang, I don't even know. Like, that's actually a pretty good point.
cognitive dissonance.
So should we do, since it's kind of like a tie theoretically, should we do the people that chose that, like one group can do, maybe pick the genre of the next book, and then the other group can pick the actual books, like decide the book
that'd be
titles,
good.
if that makes sense?
Like split it up. So
I want everyone to still have an option to pick. I don't know. I mean, is everyone really like, I feel like we all kind of have the same vibe when it comes to what we like. So
What if
would
we
it be
just all, yeah, like what if we just all put in a book? Because I mean, I feel like, yeah, we were both right. Both groups.
yeah, like I don't feel like we were
So
Thanks, guys.
you guys are so insane. Like it was even that deep.
Tell Sarah. Make sure to tell Sarah that we did win.
I will.
Do we take a end of book shot like we used to?
Oh,
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, bet. Hold on. Let me go get one.
water
I'll go
shots
I'm,
are
s-
allowed.
I'm so gonna record
Topo
this.
Chico. It's
I think I have anything at this point.
Me taking a shot before I'm going to work
I
out.
always just drink water.
Really?
Yes.
I love it.
Okay.
Charlie says when we take shots, she always drinks water. Charlie says when we take shots, she always drinks water.
I'm actually. Wait, so could we? I don't know. Is this too quick to ask? Like, what genre will we want to be doing? Because, like, don't we have to figure that
It's
out?
Crown Apple. Pray for me.
What if we do a mystery again? Because that was our first book,
I
would say
agree.
that.
like a
I was
crime.
gonna say mystery.
Wait,
like
But we're
done
doing
it?
the same
August,
thing.
September, October.
I know.
That's what I have.
Charlie, is that Colleen Hoover book a mystery? That pink one that everyone keeps.
Listen, okay, hold on. I just Irina I was like, I want to read Colleen Hoover. Everybody's like obsessed. And she was
Literally.
like, I don't know if you'd like it. I don't think it's that good. So I'm like, okay, I get the audiobook like from the library and I'm listening to it.
More in
And
my
it
bottle.
was like nails on a chalkboard. Like it was so horrible. Like I always try to finish a book. If I start it, I didn't, I got 2.5 hours in and I was like, I can't do it. Like it was just such bad writing. But I have heard that people said that book that you're talking about, it ends
with us. Yeah.
is different, like different writing than a lot of her other books.
Okay.
So, but I mean, it was bad. It was so bad that like one of the characters' names was like Rachel, and it was said so much that I'm like, I can't. Like, no offense to anybody named Rachel, but I like cannot. Like, I just absolutely can't after that.
I'm weak. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'll make sure not to put that book in the second.
It's called Ugly Love. Don't read it and don't nominate it, please.
Charlie's gonna be
So
like,
I guess with this being,
"Thumbs down."
Yeah, I'll thumbs it down if somebody puts it in.
Done.
Do like
All right, guys. 7 days in June.
Cheers to 7 days in June. Cheers.
Real quick, we have literally 2 minutes left while y'all chug your alcohol. Do we want to, in the chat, put what we think our next genre should be? Or do we want to kind of decide that now here? Because I feel like if we decide it here, people can start looking for books and then we can like get the ball rolling. Because
Yeah, I was thinking
well, when's our next book club?
okay, this is just an idea I had for the genre because I felt like it was somewhat different as to what we were already doing. What if we picked a book that is like, what if we did like cult classic type something that maybe got turned into a big motion picture, yada yada, like a very famous book that maybe not all of us have read, like say something like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, or something like, you know, there's like
The Crawdads
books.
Mhm.
Exactly, like something like that, because I feel like that'd be kind of cool because we can cap it off with maybe we can all watch the movie afterwards or something. I feel like that way we know for sure it's like we have a best-selling like cult classic type of book in our rotation.
Twilight it
Or
is.
number 5, or whatever.
Good idea. Yeah.
That's what I thought. That way we don't have a specific genre, but like.
Well, since it's very niche, I guess I would say niche-ish. That is, if everyone here is okay with that,
That'd be dope.
you know, would we be okay kind of like passing that along, and then everyone now starts finding a cult classic book?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Can I just ask, so when the semester starts, I'm gonna be in class on Tuesdays at 7. Could we like push it back to 8 or do a different day?
We can do what is it? Was it 7 p.m. Central, 8 your time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can change the time. It was really because of you guys, but if you guys are okay with pushing it, making it 7, I mean, I don't.
Irina, are you okay with that?
Yeah,
We
it's
did
all
that
good.
before, so I don't see an
Okay.
issue how we wouldn't do it now.
Okay, because I don't get out of class till like 7:30 my time, so I'd be back in time for 8.
Yeah, because I'm like, if anyone has issues with that, we could just change the date but I think that would work unless, you know, what is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
I'm down for Tuesdays, just pushing it back to 7 again.
Yeah.
Okay, because Abby
Yeah,
teaches
that works.
right on Tuesday, like early, so then she could come too.
Yeah,
True.
that's perfect.
Alright.
And give us time to catch up on the book too. If you're like behind, you can like catch it up before. Okay, cult classic genre.
A cult classic.
Okay,
Bet.
cool. And then we can do I was just gonna say, like, we find the book or something, we can maybe meet back up like
In 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks, you guys think?
August.
The 9th.
Book and stuff.
What date?
I was like looking at the 9th or the 16th.
Are we gonna
Wait,
have
aren't
like
you
the
gonna be out of
first?
town? Oh, wait, will you be out of town?
Who?
Cindy, aren't you gonna be out of town?
No?
Oh, it's the 2nd, never mind.
I know I'll be out of town on the 16th of August.
Okay.
Not that I want that to like affect anything, but
Out of town. I'm not out of town.
We could do like the 9th and then just maybe have like the first 3 chapters read or
Yeah.
something
Discuss the
short.
first 3 chapters or 5 chapters, however we do it.
That
So we need to have
after
our book set by what date? Because we're throwing out a bunch of different.
Well,
August 9th.
I would say, guys, if we can buy if it's not too much troublesome for everyone, by Sunday, everyone puts their recommendation and we just pick from what everyone submitted. We just go, okay, well, this is what everyone submitted. Pick the book, and whoever is the winner is the winner. You
That
know,
works.
Deadline Sunday, put your book in if you really want the book that you want, and then everyone's gonna vote on that.
That's this Sunday.
This
The
Sunday.
31st.
So you got the whole week to pick a book and figure it out, and then we'll put reminders, and then by like, you know, midnight Sunday or whatever, I'll just text everyone, hey guys, this is final, we can vote. That way everyone can get their book. And then so let's shoot for the 9th, and if
I
we need
can
to
read
push
on the
it back,
plane.
I feel like we can, but I think we could shoot for the 9th if that's okay with everyone.
That works.
All right,
All right, cool. All right, guys.
sounds good. Sorry I was
All
late.
Oh, you had a lot to say, which was awesome because you added some juice to this. So, all right, guys, I will see you guys. This has been fun.
Buenos noches.
Hey,